From Software has definitely become one of the biggest chads of gaming, starting off with their humble beginnings with the Kingsfield franchise, as the progenitor of their greatest franchise of all time, the Souls series. But their road to success wasn't peaceful. The game Demon's Souls went through a development hell until the holy demon himself, Miyazaki, came. And even with him on the helm, the issues persisted. The initial sales of Demon's Souls were not too good, but the game gained traction through when it was sold across the globe, and the rest is history. Refining the games with each game. Okay, never mind. Okay, seriously, what's up with the second game always having something controversial about it? The company has definitely set a name for itself, making its game unapologetically difficult, which is definitely curious, considering how rage games like these can actually deter a fanbase from coming. I mean, when it comes to rage games, it brought all the hype and all the issues. But that's why I'm here to find out exactly why people fell in love with the Souls series. Now, I'll be talking about Dark Souls 3 because that's the game I have the most experience on. Don't get me wrong, Elden Ring is perfect, but I did play Dark Souls more. The gameplay is simple yet varied. It's what complicates the game, with 2 melee builds, with 3 magic builds, and different weapons having different stat gains, and you can amplify those stat gains or change them up and have a different effect of sorts, and also having weapon arts. Armor also having certain buffs like 1 damaging when you roll into an enemy. The game's core gameplay is just attack and dodge, although there are complexities like backstabs, parry, riposting, plunging attacks, dash attacks, yada yada yada. All you have to do to properly play is just properly dodge and properly attack, leaving the game with a very low entry bar, but a very high learning curve because of the... I'm gonna be talking about the mobs and levels together as they work together in tangent in my opinion. The mobs' design and placement are tied to the lore of the gameplay. Lore that I'm not too qualified to talk about, but here's a bunch of examples. The tarnished mobs in the first level are empty husks that have no souls, and whoop-de-doo, they're in a graveyard. Knights in their corresponding castles, dragon mobs in the Dragon Island, slugs in a swamp, skeletons in... Each level ramps up in difficulty, but if you progress through the game normally, the difficulty doesn't spike much, unless it's the swamp level. The difficulty curve definitely matches with your strength. As the game gets harder, you also get harder. Wait, hold on. Bosses in games are usually used as a way to end the level, but in Dark Demon-born Ring Souls, the levels are preparations for the bosses. And if you don't get good, you're not gonna have a good time. The bosses in these games are the best part of this already great game. Bosses range from humanoid to big, humongous. Whoa. The bosses each have their own strengths and weaknesses. For example, Pontiff and Gundyr both have weaknesses to parries. Vort is ass and fire stabs. Yorm, Stormbreak, making defeating bosses from a difficult task to a manageable one. Alright, Soulsborne Ring games are hard. Yes, we all know this, but the difficulty isn't unfair. Unlike rage games, the games don't make the game hard solely just to make it unfair. Basic enemies in this game doesn't have any annoying gimmicks to them, like the Furies from DMC5. Most of them will do a basic, easy to read attack, some of them will make a big attack, and some are harder and they all have weaknesses of their own. You can't beat them with any weapon of your choice. The basic enemies at the start of a level are a challenge, but by the time you're halfway through, you're cutting them up and with relative ease. But the bosses. Remember what I said in the bosses section? The levels are the practice for the bosses. Most of these bosses are hard and you will die at least 4 times against most of them. However, After your first or second attempt, you'll notice the animation patterns, the frames needed to dodge the attacks, details in the character's design that hint at the enemy's weakness. That's the thing about the difficulty in this game. It's also satisfying to beat it. Each of the Elden Soulsborne games have difficulties, yes, but they reward the victories really well. Getting a kill makes a really loud slash noise, be it weak or strong enemy, making each kill feel like a big step towards a greater strength. Boss kill rewards you with lots of souls and a weapon that you can only get through them. Another example is the parry. Parries have such a powerful sound effect and makes the parried guy get staggered really fudging hard and allows you to perform a visceral attacks, which deals small damage. Dark Souls difficulty is hard, yes, but the difficulty is passable because the game gives you several solutions to beat the difficulty, be it glitch or through normal conventions, and reward you greatly and making everything fun and incentivizing you to keep playing and keep getting better. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and now Elden Ring. These games are great, and personally I prefer Demon Souls the best because of the remake. The graphics, the design of the world, and the enemies all really stood out to me the most. And if you haven't already, I heavily recommend playing any of the Elden Soulsborne games. They are as good as the people say they are. But remember, the game is hard. It has a high learning curve. Hold on, let me just pull up a graph. Yeah, so here it starts up high and then look, it plateaus. So if you feel like you're sucking, keep trying. You will die and die over and over again. But that's the fun part. Figuring out the strats, builds, and counters to these overpowered monsters so that you can become the Elden Cinder Hunter. That was really bad. That is not, I should not have said.